Psychology in Seattle.
Hey, deserving listeners. Today we have Bob back on the podcast to talk about his schemas. So this is going to be part 2 in which I interview Bob about his schemas and his emotional needs and how he grew up and the schemas he developed and the maladaptive coping styles that he engages in, that we all engage in relation to our schemas, and what he's done in therapy and his own personal work to overcome that, to not fall into certain holes, certain pitfalls, certain situations that are self-destructive and deny Bob the ability to get his needs met, which we all need. For those of you who maybe don't know this, but I've been doing a series of episodes on schema therapy. A lot of people have been asking me to do a deep dive on schema therapy. I did that. I didn't really know the model that well, but after doing the deep dive, I discovered that I really liked it, and for a lot of reasons. One of which is that it solidifies, so to speak, the way I've been thinking about people for the last 15 years into a understandable model that has a language and a system that is kind of provides a formula, I guess, for solidifying the thoughts about why people are the way that they are and why we all have certain repetitive foibles and repetitive sensitivities.
Sort of an accurate description of how people are with the basis in attachment.
Right.
Yeah.
And instead of it just being general attachment theory,
right,
it actually tries to describe these different kinds of conditions.
Right.
It also moves away from the regular personality disorder model, which is fine, but it's kind of limited in its way as well. And so I find it to be very helpful, and part of my effort to further my understanding is to interview people about their schemas to get the stories of what it feels like, what it actually is, what the lived experience is of having one of the 18 schemas that are proposed by schema therapy. So let's get into it, Bob.
Yeah, let's get into it.
This is the Psychology in Seattle podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Who are you, Bob?
I'm a person with some fucked up schemas.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? Yeah. A therapist in practice here in Seattle, and your old friend from 100 years ago.
And this episode is just for patrons of the podcast.
Oh.
So if you want to hear this episode, as well as hear part 1 of Bob and all the other interviews that I'm doing with people about schema therapy, you have to become a patron of the podcast by going to patreon.com. When you become a patron, you get access to arguably all of our best episodes. So do so now. Go to patreon.com, become a patron. It's also the way we know that you actually care about this podcast, is to become a patron. So please do so. Also, if you're a patron and you email me a question, you're much more likely to have that question answered on the air. So become a patron of the podcast. Do it now.